Hey guys, how are you today? Happy Friday. So today I just want to talk to you about 990. I have a question for you. Have you filed your organization 990 yet? That's your tax return. I want you to tell me whether you're watching this now on IG or you're gonna catch it live. If you catch it live or you're gonna catch it on the replay, I want you to tell me if you have filed your 990 yet or not. You guys, I spoke to a lot of people, a lot of people. They thought they should not file 990 every year, and a lot of people also thought they can just mail in their 990. What I want you to know, if you think one of those thoughts, that you must file 990 every year, whether it's the 990 in card or 990 EZ or 990, any of these three, you must file them every single year, and they have to be electronic. So few things you need to know in order to file on time and file accurately. You have to know which one you are required to file. You have to know when is your year end. Are you using a calendar year? Are you using a fiscal year? Because not every organization uses the calendar year. Calendar year meaning just like starting in June, starting in January 1st, ending in December 31st of each year. That's calendar year. Not all organization uses that deadline. Your organization might use a fiscal year, meaning like you have a random dates. Most common one would be starting July 1st, ending June 30. That's another option. So, but there's like also other common fiscal year. But let's say you have a fiscal year of, let's say you have you use the calendar year. You can, it's not just that you pick. Maybe you can include it. You include it in the application for when you did the 1023, but you want to make sure from the determination letter you get. The letter you all celebrate when you receive the tax exempt status. That's the determination letter. So you want to look at that letter and see when is your year end. Are you using fiscal or calendar year? They should state over there, and that's what you should go for. So let's say your year ending on December 31st. That means your tax due on May 15. Which is usually, like if you're not in a calendar year, you want to count 4 months, and then the 15th of the following month would be the due date for your tax return, 990. So for calendar year, it is that May 15, but you might have done an extension. So if you did an extension, your due date is coming soon. It's coming on November 15. Yeah, we are still in August, but if you haven't been doing your bookkeeping, if you haven't been gathering your information that you need to do your tax return, then you want to start doing this now, because you don't want to be late. A lot of information required when you file 990. So, and your books has to be in place. So you want to make sure you have bookkeeping. You want to make sure you have all the updated information, address, donations. Like you have to have like who donated what, when, how did you spend your money, the entire balance sheet and profit and loss will go in that 990, in addition to so many information. You need to have it there. So it's more complicated than any other tax return. It's even more complicated than just like your SRC Corp. So 990, it does require a lot of work and a lot of information, and you want to make sure you have everything in place. Like, you want to go over and see like if you have everything, and do it as soon as possible. Don't wait until the last minute, because a lot of components you need to include on that. Another thing you want to pay attention to is you cannot do it on paper. So you cannot just like print that that form and put it on paper. You have to e-file it. So that you have to use someone to e-file it. I know that for N-Card you can do it online on the IRS website, so you can do it yourself. But for the easy or the 990, the long one, you cannot. You have to e-file it on a software. So you have to have help in order to do that. I'm not sure if there is any any software that offer it without being a tax professional. I'm not aware of that. If there is any, please let me know in the chat. Tell me where people can file it without a help. But you want to make sure also this information is accurate. You want to make sure everything is updated, because if it's not accurate, they might tell you, okay, it's incomplete, and there's a penalty for that. There's a penalty for not filing and a penalty for incomplete information. Another thing you need to know before you start doing your 990 is you have to see if your organization have been doing any unrelated business activity that where you generated income for. Then you might have to file 990T, and that is in addition to the 990 you are doing. 990T is just to report your unrelated business income, and that is taxable. So you want to make sure you are aware of those stuff, because not everything for nonprofit is non-taxable. Yes, it's exempt organization. Yes, your income tax where you generated from gifts and donations and grants, that is not taxable. But if you are selling anything, if you're renting, if you do activities that unrelated to your activity, where you're the person on the other hand, they are receiving benefits in exchange of that money, then that is income that is not excluded from taxes, that you have to report on 990T. So you would kind of have like to do 990 and 990T. So you want to be aware of that. Make sure you consult someone who knows what they're doing. Make sure to consult someone who knows what how nonprofit operates. Make sure you are also taking care of the payroll taxes, because if you are a nonprofit, you still have to do payroll taxes. The only thing that your nonprofit does not have to do to pay taxes on is the income tax that coming from gift, donation, and grants. Anything else, property taxes, payroll taxes, business taxes, that you will have to pay taxes on. So you want to be aware of that. Sales tax, you don't have to pay if you are registered with the store. For example, I know what is it, Stables, I think, or Stables and Office Depot, you can register, also based by like a lot of stores. You just have to ask the store. You will have to do an application, because they have to do it also when they file their state taxes or their sales taxes with the state. You have to do an application, and then they get you a card or a number. I don't know if they're still doing the card, and then you can be tax exempt. and I mean you're tax exempt, but they can exempt you from the tax. Otherwise, if you don't have any proof, if you didn't do the application, they won't be able to forgive you from the sales tax. But if you have that with that store, yeah, you can pay without paying taxes. You know, just they can forgive you because they can get excluded. Also, they can exclude it from their income as taxable income. They still have to report it, but they don't have to pay taxes because they didn't collect it from you. So a lot of things going on with nonprofit, a lot of components you have to know. Make sure you ask the right people because not everyone aware of what's going on with a nonprofit. Believe me, like I studied for my enrolled agent exam and I'm now studying for my CPA. Nonprofit is not covered. It's not covered with either one. They say like just a glimpse of information, not so many information. They don't know, they don't go in depth. They cover like few pages on that, like just, oh okay, we went over it. At least with what the subject I'm studying now. I don't know if they do it on FAR, but not everyone knows. That's my point. Not everyone knows what's going on with nonprofit, what's required, what's not required. Even with registering the nonprofit is so much complex, more than any other business. So you want to make sure you do it right. You want to make sure you stay in compliance. You want to make sure you file your 990 and you pay your taxes with your nonprofit organization, so you can stay tax exempt, you can stay eligible to collect tax deductible donations, because if you lose your exempt status, you won't be able to collect those donations anymore. At least not the major donations, because people who are able to pay major donations, they look to see if you are tax exempt or not, because if you lose it, they will go to someone else. So make sure you are aware of that. Make sure you take advantage of that. Make sure you stay in compliance. Make sure you file 990. If you have any question about that, feel free to book a call. Link on the bio, and in the bio there's the link tree, and third link is to book a free call. First link, that's what, if you didn't know yet, if you are not aware yet, I have a free masterclass just for you as a nonprofit organization, and you can sign up for free. It's for you if you already have a nonprofit and you are struggling to get donations. It's for you if you are thinking to get into nonprofits and just want to see like what you need to do, what does it take, and what does it mean to be involved in nonprofit. And if you didn't start, you really wanna sign up, because in that class I have a lot of giveaways for you. I give you all the tools that you need to start your nonprofit correctly and to be able to get donations. The masterclass is basically to help you to get $10,000 in donation. $10,000 in donation in 30 days. That's the main component, the main focus on that class. But I give you, at the end of that class, I give you a lot of freebies, and then I give you a lot of free tools and everything that you need to start and grow your nonprofit, or to just scale it if you're stuck somewhere, to scale your nonprofit. So you want to make sure you register, and also please make sure to share this with anyone you might think would take advantage of, like can take advantage of, and they might be interested and they want to learn how to grow a nonprofit, or how to, or when they start their nonprofit, what they need to do in order to grow it and make sure they collect those donations to be able to create the impact they're looking for in this world. Link in the bio. And if you are like my great teams that are there gonna download this and put it on YouTube, so, or if you are on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and make sure you check that link. The link is gonna be on the comments if you are on YouTube, and on the description. Book a call if you need help with your nonprofits, $9.90, and make sure, regardless of where you're at your nonprofit, register for that masterclass. It's free. And one more thing I want to tell you, if you haven't been doing your bookkeeping, make sure you do it now. And I am taking only 5 bookkeeping cleanup, just 5 this month. So make sure you reserve your spot, book a call, and let's talk and see how can we start for your books and make sure you're in compliance and ready to file your tax return. All right, guys, I'm gonna see you every Friday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time. Make sure to be here, and you can ask me all the questions you have, and see you next week. And also, I will be on Tuesday on Facebook. So also, if you're on Facebook, go to my Facebook and get there and be on the live on Facebook to ask me your questions. Talk to you soon. Have a great weekend.